So things have been crazy. I have spent the last week trying to edit last week's episode, and after all of my hard work, the hours I poured into the episode, it was 3 hours of footage. 3 hours of me talking. And after going through most of the editing, I had about less than an hour left to edit. The footage got corrupt. The entire project wouldn't export, it wouldn't load. Thankfully though, I was able to export the audio, so I finished editing the last few clips. So then I went to go export the MP3 file and the videos that I had finished editing, then that got corrupt too. It wouldn't export. And then another couple hours of work had gotten pushed down the drain because the video wouldn't export, it wouldn't load. It would have taken like 8-9 hours to load. I was frustrated, but I was trying to push through. I was trying to stay optimistic. So I ended up just posting the MP3 audio. So if you guys want to watch last week's episode, I did link it down below. I posted it as an unlisted video because it's just a black screen with the audio in the background. I couldn't save the video, but I was able to save the audio. So at least I have the edited audio that I myself can look back to anytime I want. But if you guys are interested in watching the video at any given point in time, the link to be able to watch it is going to be under this video. And if you want to save the link so that way you can come back later without having to come to this video, you can do so. So yeah, I'm thankful that the audio was able to be saved and I was able to at least save that entire week of lessons because I loved that week. I loved all of the lessons I was able to learn. But unfortunately, due to me spending most of my time this week editing that video or procrastinating editing that video, I never really ended up recording any videos for this week, so this is the summarization for this week's episode. Gray is on her way here, so Gray's coming over tonight because we were going to go to Tennessee to camp and then go to Missouri to watch the solar eclipse for tomorrow because tomorrow's April 8th, but she got really anxious, and even I asked the universe, I was like, please give me a sign whether or not we should go on this trip or not because I've been feeling anxious about it. I really want to do it. I understand that I can still do it, but I feel like we've made the right choice by not going. I just have a lot of really strong instincts that tomorrow is just going to be a really big day. I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know how everything's going to play out. The solar eclipse is predicted to be a very powerful one. Tomorrow could be the day that changes everything, but I'm just trying to remind myself that all I have are assumptions. I don't really know what's going to happen, so I'm just trying to keep as much love and hope in my heart because we need change, and however that change presents itself, I'm excited to see how it does. I'm excited to see the solar eclipse regardless because here where we are, we should still be able to see about 80 to 90% of totality. We won't be able to see the sun and the moon 100%, but I feel like we'll be able to see at least most of the eclipse. I'm thankful to still at least be in an area that has 80-90%, so no complaining. Gray and I are probably going to camp outside tonight or camp outside tomorrow because we're going to probably be outside tomorrow all day watching the solar eclipse and just spending time together. I feel the most content outside. I feel like whenever I'm trapped inside of the house, I feel like I am submerged in negative energy and I'm just suppressed, I'm isolated. But whenever I go outside, I look in nature, I hear the sounds, I hear the birds. It's so fulfilling and it is so beautiful, and it's just a reminder that all of this was created. I have the privilege of being a part of all of this. I'm having this ignorant human experience and I'm experiencing what it's like to not know anything and grasp for as many straws as I can because I'm someone who loves to learn. I like to know as much as I can. And yes, for some cases it's for control. I want to know things for control, but I also just enjoy learning. I like to have knowledge. I like to sit with thoughts. I like to think. I like to explore the complexity of this world, our society, our universe. It's one of my passions. To kind of summarize the last 2 weeks, I've really been trying to hone in on the lessons of compassion over judgment, love over fear, trying to just stay in a state of love and not living in a state of discontentment, fear, anxiety. I still experience anxiety. I still experience a lot of my mental health symptoms, which can be a little distressing, but nothing I'm not used to. I just want to remind myself that I am going to continue to work hard and continue to get better, and I still struggle with these things, and some of these things are out of my control. As of right now, that's something I don't like to say a lot now. Is it out of my control? Is it not? The complexities of reality. What is objective reality? Is objective reality that we do control everything and that everything is just an illusion of our mind? What is it, you know? We're gonna learn soon, which is even more exciting about all of this because as everybody's saying, we're leaving a cycle, right? We're leaving the cycle that we've been in for thousands of years of war, harm, greed, and we're moving into this cycle of honesty, love, compassion, understanding, and I'm just excited to experience a different type of society than what we've always known. I'm ready for the challenges. I feel like the challenges are going to be hard. Anytime I feel myself getting challenged in any area of my life, I always get so distressed. I'm like, oh my God, am I going to survive this? Am I okay? Oh my God, I get into a state of fear. But then it's like, homegirl, what did you think the challenges were going to be? Did you think they were going to be easy? Did you think you were just going to breeze through everything no problem? Like, challenges are challenges for a reason. They're meant to challenge you. They're meant to see what you're capable of and how far you can push yourself out of your comfort zone and what you're used to. In my last episode, the one linked in the description, I felt like I was a boy learning compassion. You know how some boys, they'll do some acid trip or they'll get high or something and they'll have this intensive experience where they learn what empathy is? I feel like that was me the past week. I am in a manic episode. I don't know how I am right now. I might be a little bit more baseline now. 2 weeks ago, I definitely was really manic, so a lot of my thought patterns were being a little bit influenced by that, so you could tell I was a little bit more erratic. I still believe in the things that I believe in. I don't disprove of any of that stuff just because I was in a manic episode, but I am able to more rationally think now because I'm bipolar. It's gonna happen. I am a sick person as of right now. I do have an illness, so it's something that's going to affect my life, but I survived it. I'm okay. I might still be in it. I do believe I'm still in it, but I do believe I've gotten myself out of the deluded mindset, but we'll see. We just have to wait and see, go with the flow. Maybe tomorrow I'll think differently. Maybe the next week I'll think differently. You know, I can only know as time goes on. I can only go with time. I can't force it to go faster. I'm also trying to remind myself that I'm human and that I'm gonna make mistakes, mess up sometimes. In my head, I think, okay, I know things now. I know how to be compassionate. I know how to be understanding. How could I ever make a mistake again, right? If I know these things, if I know how to treat people properly, how could I ever make mistakes? The last few days I've been learning how you can still make mistakes. Now, obviously that was more satirical. I don't think I'm never gonna make mistakes, but in my head I'm like, how could that happen though? You know, I don't want to make mistakes. There's more deer. I love watching the deer. I hope Gray and I are able to camp because then we'll be able to wake up in the forest and maybe we'll be able to see deer near us, which would be so awesome. That would be so perfect. Waking up in nature, that's going to be my reality whenever I'm living out of my car. I'm going to be able to go to national parks and just go camp any and every night that I want and just wake up in nature. I can vibe with that. I can do with that reality, bro. I hear rustling in the woods, which means it's probably a deer. Another thing I also learned is that yet again, I am reminded I should not smoke a lot. I think that smoking is just not good for my lungs. I started smoking again for a couple of days and it didn't hurt for a couple of days, but I think after smoking for like 3-4 days consecutively, my lungs were like, that's it for me. I'm done. No more putting smoke in me because it hurts. Not that it hurts, it's just uncomfortable and I can feel my lungs getting tighter and I don't think that's normal, so I'm gonna stick to edibles once I get to Florida. I'll be able to get stuff from Chronic Guru, which is gonna be amazing because I'll be living there and I can just drive there whenever I want. Chronic Guru is amazing because they sell infused lemonade, fruit punch, Rice Krispie treats. The Rice Krispie treats are really, really good and they last a while and they get you really high. So I'm really thankful that I'll be able to have access to that once I'm in Florida. But as of right now in Georgia, there aren't really any good edible places. I was gonna go to the smoke shop earlier. I was next to it, so I was like, might as well get an edible while I'm at it so I can sleep tonight. But then I decided against it because every time I take those edibles, it just makes me tired and groggy. And then I wake up the next morning just feeling meh. It doesn't hit the same the way it does with an edible from Chronic Guru or dispensaries. Also, I don't know if you noticed, but I re-pierced my eyebrow piercing. I just haven't felt like myself without it, and I've been procrastinating it because the last 2 times I've tried to re-pierce it, I'm pretty sure I've messed up. 2 times. And the last few times I've also tried to pierce other people, I've messed up. So I've been out of piercing for a while, but I told myself I'm not going to let my fear stop me. I got this. I can do this. I will do this. And I did do this. Look at it. It looks amazing. It looks perfect. It went great. I didn't record myself. I didn't put pressure on myself or anything. I just sat in a chair, looked in the mirror, stuck a needle inside of me, and bada bing, bada boom. Gray and I also filmed our video where we sprayed each other with spray bottles every time we said filler words or apologized to each other for no reason. And that turned out so good. I need to edit it so I can post it on YouTube, obviously. But I've just been so honed in on editing that 3-hour footage video, which I've gotten done. It's just audio now, but it's done. So now all I have to do is edit this video, and edit that video, and I'm solid. I don't have to have any other editing burdens on my back because I choose to do these things, so I wouldn't necessarily call it a burden because it is a choice. I'm not forced to do this. It's not something that's on my back against my will. But boy, oh boy, it can be difficult to edit sometimes, especially whenever I lost all that footage. I got so dysregulated. I tried to keep myself baseline, and I did. I went for a walk around the cul-de-sac. I tried to just calm myself down and make sure to remind myself that it's not the end of the world. We'll figure something out. And then I did. I was like, it's okay. I'll just post the audio of it because it's mostly for me anyways. As long as I can listen to it, I can look back to it. That's all I really care about. I still have all of the raw videos and all of that stuff, so there's nothing really for me to stress about or be worried about at all. Gray should be getting here soon. She left the Life 360 circle, so I can't really stalk her, unfortunately. Tisk tisk. But she's been really overwhelmed the last few days, so I've just been trying to show her as much love, compassion, understanding as possible because I remember being in her place. I remember feeling episodes and being overwhelmed and not knowing how to control myself, not knowing how to change my behaviors. It's really hard. It's really, really difficult. It's really difficult to change behaviors that you've had for such a long time. It's hard not to shut down whenever you get overwhelmed. So I've been just trying to show her how much I love her and how much I understand, and that she does not have to feel like a burden or anything because she's far from it. Far from it. Tonight I might ask her to do shadow work with me because I have the shadow work journal and I just haven't done it, and I feel like it would be beneficial for both of us to kind of read through it and go through it together, talk to each other about trauma. Maybe I can help her work through some of the things she's struggling with because I really am proud of myself. I was in the car earlier and I was talking to myself per usual, and I was thinking about some irrational thoughts I've been having recently about how I'm not healed enough because I have these fearful thoughts that I'm not going to be able to make it to the new earth. It stems from, I believe, the religious teachings of heaven and hell. If you don't act accordingly, then you're going to go to hell after you die. It's a very drilled in fear, and I got so much better. I had undrilled it out of me, but then after I learned about the new world and how there's a physical split happening between energy, in theory, of course, I feel like that fear kind of came back where I subconsciously developed this fear of, oh my God, what if I don't have a high enough vibration? What if I get left behind? And just trying to remind myself, I am a good person. I try to live my life the best way that I can. I have no control over what the judgment of the universe decides for my vibrational frequency or anything. I can only do the best I can wherever I end up, wherever my path leaves, whatever earth I'm on, whatever I end up experiencing, I accept it for what it is because I'm here to learn lessons and I'm here to experience. And if that's what I'm meant to experience, if there are certain lessons I still need to learn and I need to experience a lot of different things that I am not imagining right now, I feel like I'm kind of in a content place with that. I feel as a human, anytime you're aware of a certain system that's black and white where it's like good or bad, if you're good or bad and you're not the other one, then you're gonna go to the bad place, you're gonna go to the good place. I feel like it's really easy for us humans to fall into fear because, oh my God, what if I don't end up in the good place? I don't give a fuck anymore. Like, I don't care. Anytime I have those thoughts, I try not to entertain them. I try to combat them with affirmations because it's not worth my time. It's not worth my time because I can't control it regardless. I'm not going to live in a state of fear because my thoughts want control over my reality. When that's not possible, sorry guys, sorry. You're going to learn what ends up happening same time I do. Oh, back to the thoughts though. I end up observing certain thoughts that are like, you haven't healed enough. You're not doing enough healing. And then I thought about it, I reevaluated that thought, and I was like, no, that is completely irrational because I've done so much healing. I'm not healed. I'm not 100% light and perfect. I have no flaws, no problems, not at all. But I've done so much work on my healing. I did 3 years consecutively of just learning about trauma, learning about my trauma, processing everything I've gone through. I've done such a great job with that. And right now, no, I have not been focusing on healing necessarily. I haven't been focusing on my trauma, but I've focused on my trauma my entire life. I think it's okay if I have some time where I'm focusing on experiencing and learning. You know, I'm still healing during this time. A lot of what I'm learning is actually helping me heal even more. So inherently, yes, I am still healing. Just remember, if anybody's watching this video, your thoughts are not facts. Your thoughts, don't even think of them as you. Think of your thoughts as something that is downloaded into your head and you are an observer of those thoughts. Because do you choose to think intrusive thoughts? I struggle with intrusive thoughts so much. Literally what I'm talking about, these are all intrusive thoughts. I do not ask for these thoughts. I do not ask to think of these things, but it's just in my head. If I'm not consciously choosing to think this, where is it coming from? So I've just kind of become aware of, I'm the observer of my thoughts, I am not the thinker of my thoughts. There are some thoughts I choose to consciously think, but I think you guys understand. There are thoughts that you consciously think, and then there are thoughts that are more intrusive and just pop into your head for fun. I just try not to entertain my intrusive thoughts because they don't have power over me. I have power over what I choose to entertain. I have power over what I choose to validate. I have that power, and I'm not going to just give that away. I still struggle, but it's all about affirmations. It's all about rewiring our brains, and that's what I'm working hard at, and that's all I can do. I'm focusing on what I can control. I believe I'm doing an amazing job at that, and I believe I'm doing an amazing job with my healing, my learning, my acceptance, my compassion. I just believe that I'm doing the best I can with the circumstances I've been given as a human. I'm gonna go ahead and just end this episode here. I don't want it to become too long, so that way it's too overwhelming for me to be able to edit it right now. I want to be able to edit this, get it out of the way, be able to post it. I can link my episode from last week, or last week onto this episode and just get that over with, not have to worry about it, not have to stress. I'm sure there are hundreds of other things I could talk about from this last week and hundreds of lessons I've learned, because again, every single week I am a different person. I am not the person I was last week. I'm not the person I was 2 weeks ago. Whenever you're constantly learning and evolving, it's like you're constantly shedding skin. I could watch my episode from 3 weeks ago and I'm like, oh, I think completely differently, or I still feel aligned with that, or I am proud of myself for the affirmations I did. Whatever it is, I just love these videos because it just shows my progress as a human, a person, someone who is just trying their best to heal from debilitating mental illnesses and trauma and CPTSD. It's a lot. But I make it look easy. I can't wait till I see my family next week. I can't wait till I get to hang out with Gray tonight. I can't wait to see the solar eclipse tomorrow. I can't wait to see where the world is going, what I get to experience, what I get to go through, the challenges I'm going to be faced with. Just remember to have hope over fear. It is okay to experience fear and feel fear, to process fear, but don't live in it. I promise you, life does get better. Things do look up. You just have to keep going. You have to keep pushing. You have to keep believing in yourself, because you are so worth it. You have so much potential, and I believe in you. I believe in myself. And if you guys got absolutely nothing from this video, you feel this video has not helped you even in the slightest, please just leave this video knowing that you are sexy, you are valid, and you are so loved. And I will see you guys next week. Bye!
Hope you liked my videos. Is there anything else I'm supposed to say as a YouTuber?